Hello, everyone, and welcome back for episode 23 of He Said, She Said. I'm your host, Eric.
And I'm Sierra.
This week, we're going to be talking about work, jobs we've had, what we've liked, what we disliked, and some statistics about the job market currently.
All right, before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to another Earthly product. This week, I wanted to talk about Calm and Clarity Extract. This product helps promote a calm mood and mental clarity and focus. It is safe for kids and adults. I personally have ADHD, and this is a great substitute for Adderall. I haven't taken Adderall in 2 months.
Yeah, a while.
Yep, I'm doing all right. Today, I texted my friend. I was so excited. So today, I left the grocery store, and I actually remembered where I parked. Like, I didn't have to use my keys. But to find this product, the link is in our Instagram bio.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to jump right into some of the statistics that are out there. I know statistics can be boring, but some of them can be pretty interesting. So as of August of this year, unemployment is at 3.7%. For those of you that have been curious about what exactly this means, it means that all of the people who are jobless, actively seeking a job, and available to take a job are grouped together. And this number of individuals is divided by the number of the total labor force, and that gives you your unemployment rate. So, for instance, Sierra is unemployed.
Thanks.
However, since she is not seeking work, she is not a part of that unemployment rate.
That sounds horrible. That just sounds horrible.
You don't need to. We're fortunate enough right now to, be able to survive off of a single income. So you can spend more time with Alaric and care for him and do all of those extra things that we need you to do.
I know. I've worked since I was 15. So
yep,
it just
and
sounds
a mom
bad.
is probably the hardest job you've had. So
yeah, just a little bit.
Yes.
You mentioned it the other day. You're like, man, he's like 12 hours just on. And I'm like, yeah, he's 12 hours on. That means I'm at least like 18 hours on.
Yeah. So some other statistics, wages increased 0.5% from the previous month and 5.2% from the same time last year. So I feel like that's kind of high, a 5.2% increase. However, if you remember, inflation this year was over 6%. So unless you got an over 6% raise, you're losing money. You're not making as much as you were the year before.
And I guarantee that a lot of people have not had that raise.
Yes, no, I 100% agree. So in 2021, the Bureau of Labor showed over 158 million people employed, which, I don't know if it's just me or what, but I feel like that number is low. But, I guess relative to the population of the U.S., which is 332 million, that would be roughly about half of the population. So I guess in relative to the population, it sounds normal, but when people think United States, I think more than 330 million people.
I don't. I feel like that's a lot of people.
I'm not going to say it's not. I just, there's 7 billion people in the world. And for the U.S. to only have 330 million.
Yeah. So I saw this TikTok. It said, like, when you look at a map and you actually put it into perspective, like, countries look so small, like, when you look at a globe. But then they use, like, Russia as an example. And they're like, look at Russia compared to the U.S.
Yeah,
and
Russia's
it was like,
massive.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, we're tiny.
Yeah, and that goes back into one of our previous episodes where we talked about China having a larger active military. China is a much larger country.
Yeah, so I don't understand how we're on, like, the top of the... Like, I know we're not, like, numbers-wise, but...
Right. We're up there. It's for being a smaller country. We have some pretty good numbers. So it's expected that jobs grow by 8.3 million within a 10-year period. And again, that's coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Honestly, the job market is endless, right? It could be the smallest thing to something huge, but the Bureau shows roughly 11,000 different categories of jobs. And that's just me kind of spitballing. I did not go and count every single one on that page. I just kind of
lazy.
Yeah, okay. I did a quick guesstimate, educated guess there. So Today we're going to talk about a few of the jobs that we've had. So, babe, what was your first job?
Welcome to Chili's.
Oh, it was Chili's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So my first, tax-paying job.
Yep.
I mean, I babysat forever.
Yeah, and a lot of people do.
Yep. A lot of girls, But yeah, I think I started babysitting when I was 9, 10. I babysat for the neighbors and stuff, and then for my cousins when I was 12, they were born and stuff. So I would babysit a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't always get paid with my family. I wanted to do it.
Oh, okay.
I was very maternal, which is hilarious because a lot of people that met me in my early 20s love to say that I always said, I'm never getting married, I'm never having kids.
I've heard that a few times.
Only a million. Everyone that's ever met you is like, she said she was never getting married and never having kids. And
you must be special.
yeah, but I feel like I've always been pretty maternal. So, but yeah, my first tax-paying job was Chili's. I grew up in a small town, and Chili's was being built when it was in between my 8th grade year and my freshman year. So, yeah, you should have seen Eric's face just now because he was like, oh. Because, yeah, that was our first kind of chain restaurant, I guess, in the town that I grew up in.
So what year did you start working and how old were you?
I think it was 2009.
Okay.
And I was 15. I remember I had to get a work permit from the school.
Oh, interesting. So you get those from the school?
Yeah, so the school had to sign it, my parents had to sign it, and then I had to give it to Chili's.
Must be a small town thing.
Probably, I don't know. But yeah, so my first job was Chili's. I was a hostess, and I liked it. I don't think I really like eating there anymore.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother story, right?
Yeah, but I liked it. It was good. I know we've talked about it before. Things are a little harder for me to grasp.
Yeah.
And it takes me a little bit longer. And if I'm nervous about it, there's no chance that I'm gonna understand it. So when they tried to teach me table numbers and sections, and I had a map at the host stand, and and we had radios, and they'd be seat them at 416. I'm oh, and I would panic, and I'd seat them in the wrong place. Yes, and so then I just got labeled as the young high schooler. And you know what? Actually, both my friends, my two really good friends from high school, they started working there after me. So my friend, she became a host with me, and then my other friend, she started serving there, but she didn't start serving there until after I had already left there. And I think after high school, actually, too, because she worked at this retirement home. Okay. She was a food server there, but...
Okay, so we're going to break all the stigmas here. How much did you make?
$9 an hour.
Okay, I mean, 2009 in high school, I feel like that's not too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. But yeah, $9 an hour, I think. Yeah. I think that's what I made. But I will say one of the funny things, so when we were busy, and I worked there for almost a year. And I, if we were busy and people would be rush and they'd come in, I'd be yeah, you're going to have an hour and a half wait. Lies. It was not that long. So now when...
Sounds like the same issue you had over at Ruby Tuesdays, huh?
Yeah. Down in close to my hometown.
They must have gone to your high school.
No. No, they did not. Would I go back and be a hostess at Chili's? No.
Why not?
Because it's disgusting. I don't like the sticky, grubby menus. I was a freak about that. So we had these pails of water and probably some sort of solution with these disgusting rags, and that's what we had to wipe everything down with, including the menus. And now, even with Alaric, I cannot stand sticky stuff. And those menus they were just stuck together.
Yeah, so it's funny. I think you sent me a TikTok or something, and it was places I would never eat at. And one of them wasn't Chili specific, but it was places that are dirty.
Yeah. Everything's dirty. And oh my gosh, the back room was dirty. What? So yeah, no, I would never work there again. Did I like it at the time? Yes, I was in high school. Right. It was just fun to do something, and I got to see all the teachers come in, and they would all go to the bar, and it was hilarious.
But yeah, and we see that now when we go to Torchy's.
Yes, happy hour.
Yep.
Yeah, you know they're teachers.
Oh, yeah.
They
They've got
come
their
in with
badges on. Yep. So, my first job, I worked with a fencing company. I think it was Hercules Fence, and it was actually a family friend who owned it.
Did you pay taxes?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because if that's that doesn't count. Okay.
No, I paid taxes. So, I would help around the shop. Sometimes I'd go out onto the jobs helping build fences. I think I made like $10 or $12 an hour.
Hold on. I thought you meant like fencing. I was like, I didn't know you knew how to fence.
Oh my gosh. We are leaving that in there.
I thought this whole time, I'm like, Eric, I know, I was like, Eric knows how to sword fight.
Oh, man. Okay. So I hope everybody got a good laugh out of that.
Holy cow.
But I think I was only about 15 or 16 because I couldn't even drive yet. So I actually drove in with the owner, again, family friends. He'd just come pick me up in the mornings. And this was a summer job.
So you didn't work during the school year?
No, because I had sports and everything after school. So this was just a summer job for me.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I mean, I had stuff too, but I still worked.
Oh, well.
Lazy.
I was told to focus on sports and school.
Your parents loved you.
Yes, they did. So, I was young. I thought, $10 or $12 an hour was pretty decent money. But, I think it was 2007 when I had this job. I had it for 2 summers. But the job was okay. The labor didn't bother me. I was young and energetic. Sometimes if I was stuck at the shop, I would just go insane because you can only sweep so many floors.
You can only fence so many times.
Yeah. The people were a little weird, okay?
Really?
Oh, yeah. So, I'm 15, 16 years old, and there's only like one work truck that you take to the job site. So you fit 3 or 4 people in this one work truck, and they're sitting there smoking weed with me in the truck.
Wow.
And then another dude, he had a porn addiction.
Oh, God.
Dude, the guy is literally driving to the jobs watching porn.
Eric, yep. You've never told me about this.
It was a very short period of my life.
Oh my gosh, you blocked it out.
It wasn't very important, but, we did this episode, and I'm like, I gotta mention this.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so otherwise, it was just manual labor, kind of boring. I don't think I'd ever do it again unless I absolutely needed to, or, like, if I went out and kind of did it on my own, like, maybe made some posts on Facebook Marketplace saying, hey, you need a fence built, and collected all the profits for myself for advice making $10 or $12 an hour. So what are some other jobs that you've had? You can just spitball all of them out if you want to.
Okay, I've had a lot.
Uh-huh.
So, being ADHD, I think that contributed a lot. Now that I look more into it and stuff, and people talk about their ADHD openly.
Yeah.
Apparently this is a common trend, so I thought I just had a problem. No, it's common.
Okay, so before you get started, this is going to be interesting. You say you've had a lot. I'm curious to hear how many you've had, and we're going to just keep track of that, because this is going to come into play in something later.
Okay, so like I said, my first one was Chili's. Then I worked at Little Caesars, and then let me start over. So my first one was Chili's.
Yep.
Then I worked at Bob Evans.
Okay.
Yeah, for 2 weeks. I don't think I made it out of
I thought you were about to say 2 hours.
No, I don't even think I made it out of the training. I was trying to be a server.
Okay.
Horrible. I'm a horrible server. Then I worked at Little Caesars. That was by far one of my favorites.
Okay.
And then after that, I was a nanny in California, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also worked at a pet groomer while I was doing that.
Okay.
I was just a dog bather.
Yep.
That was cool. I liked that, but again, my OCD, all that hair, couldn't do it. Oh my gosh. So then I did that. I also worked at Michael's craft store.
Oh, okay.
In California.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Look at this. We're learning so much about each other.
Yes, but I only did that one for 2 days. That one was, again, really, there was so much, and it was very overwhelming to me. So I was like, yeah, no. And that was just to do something else, just to get out of the house, basically. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Okay, so then that was the California jobs. And then I moved back to Indiana. I worked at Little Caesars again. I became the store manager there. That was great. Loved that. And then I also worked at this restaurant called Penn Station. It was a sandwich shop. I really didn't like that place at all. It was hot. It was greasy, and someone actually drove their car through our lobby.
Oh, gosh.
So that was interesting. And then I worked as a medical assistant at a hospital for a very long time, actually. It seemed like forever.
Mm-hmm.
I did the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Phew.
3 days a week. And then I was also using their program to like go to nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nightmare. That's when I decided I did not want to be a nurse. But yeah, so I was a medical assistant. And then after that, I became a nanny again. And then so once I was done nannying, that's when I moved to Virginia.
Okay.
And then in Virginia, I started working at Cheeseburger in Paradise. I served for a little bit there. Again, I was a terrible server. The kiosk system really confused me.
The POS.
Yep. That really confused me. I was really bad at taking people's orders, and they do not tip well. So then I started working for a nanny company there.
A lot of nanny jobs.
Yeah, I told you I loved being around kids.
Yeah.
So the nanny job there, it was kind of like Craigslist for nannies. Like, it was called a helping hand, and basically like you had this
Kind of like beforecare.com.
No, it's different than that even.
Okay.
And actually my 2 other nanny jobs I did find on care.com.
Okay.
But like the helping hand, it was, like I said, it's kind of like Craigslist.
Yep.
So you go on, you post a thing, say, hey, I need a babysitter for this night. And then I, as the nanny, would click it and accept it. And they would have to accept me, like they would read my profile and everything. Yep. But I had a background check. I had everything like checked out. It was a really well-run company.
Okay.
And there was probably 500 families that did it. So I did that for quite a while in Virginia.
That's good.
Yep, me and my friend actually did it together. And like they had group events sometimes. So they were really involved with like the Navy SEALs families. So we would do like group events down at the oceanfront, and we would go to a hotel. We would do like a day camp. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes like the special ones. So me and my friend were picked as like the special ones because we were mature and really good at it, and like we were.
You were mature?
Yes. we liked the kids and everything.
Yeah.
And so like if a parent felt comfortable with us, they could say, yes, like I trust you to go into my hotel room and put my child to sleep. A few of them I would do like overnights with, not, just like random families. And then if they really liked you, they could request you.
Yeah.
So I got requested all the time. But that was probably one of my other top favorite jobs. But then my all-time favorite job was working at Beechford.
Really?
Yes. So I worked in it was called BDC, Business Development Center.
Yep.
And I'm really bad with technology, but for some reason that clicked with me. Like I got it. I was good at it.
Yeah.
And so I made $15 an hour, I think.
Okay.
So I also made commission. So like all I would do is an internet lead would pop up, and there was only 5 of us, and I worked in my own cubicle. Like I didn't have to talk to people. It was amazing. So an internet lead would pop up. I would click it. I would give them information. It was like an online chat thing.
Yep.
Sometimes I would have to talk to them on the phone. Most of the time it was email and chat.
Yeah.
And then if I scheduled the appointment for them to come in to check out the vehicle, I would walk up to the front, I would introduce myself, and then I would introduce them to their sales rep. I would immediately get commission from them just stepping in the door.
Wow.
Yep. And then if they bought the car, I would get even more commission on top of that. So I got 5 paychecks a month there.
Oh, wow.
And I made so much money. So yeah, the money aspect and just the work that I did, that was my definite favorite. But unfortunately, of course, I find my favorite job, and it's not even my decision to leave. They shut that department down.
They said you guys were making too much money.
Probably. I mean, literally, we went in one day, we had our morning meeting like normal with all the sales reps, with everybody, and they told the BDC department to stay back. And there was like 5 of us, like I said, and we're like, what the hell? And they're like, yeah, we're closing your department down as of today, but we're offering you sales positions so that we can file unemployment. So that was shitty. But yeah, so that sucked. That was my favorite. Yeah. And then after that, I was in dental assisting school. I became a dental assistant and absolutely hated that. I'm really bad at dental assisting. I just get nervous. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
And then that's when I enlisted in the Army. Had my best job picked out. Had everything I wanted. Got airborne in my contract. Like I knew what to do with my contract, because like all my friends were in the military. My ex-boyfriend was in the military. Like
So
everybody.
if you would have stayed in the Army, do you think that would have been your favorite job?
Yes, hands down.
Okay.
Favorite job. Yep, because like I said, I was military police, an internment resettlement specialist, working at like Guantanamo, Leavenworth, and then, yes, I had airborne in my contract, so that was going to be clutch.
And real quick for everybody listening, how much did you make when you were in basic?
Okay, so I was working at a dental office at the front desk.
Yep.
And I took a significant pay cut. Oh my gosh. Like, because when I was working at the dental office, I was probably making $2,000 a month, maybe $2,500 or roughly. Like, that's after taxes. So, like, my bring home was $2,500 in basic. And after basic and like AIT, I think I made $1,100 a month.
Oh.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not terrible because like you don't pay for anything.
Yeah, that's how they supplement the lower incomes is they give you these housing allowances, grocery allowances, all that.
They don't give you a grocery allowance per se. They give you like you can go to the chow hall and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, that would have been my favorite job. I would still be doing that today actually. But that's okay because I met you.
Yep.
So, but anyways, when I got out of the military, medically discharged from the military, I went back to Indiana, worked at the front desk of a dental office again.
A lot of dental offices.
Yes, I went to dental assisting school, graduated from there. I got my certifications, everything, and then transferred. So I purposely did this. I worked for Heartland, which is a dental corporation.
Yeah.
And they're all over the country.
Yep.
So I started with them in Indiana, which is actually who I worked for in Virginia. So I had my foot in the door. They knew I was a good worker, all this stuff.
Yep.
So I worked there in Indiana, waited for an opening in Virginia, and I transferred back because I wanted to make sure that I had a job when I went back to Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
And like somewhere like I could, pay for my living and everything. Yep. So I transferred back to Virginia Beach and I worked at a dental office until I met you. And then I still worked at a dental office. I worked for a private dental office when I finally met you.
Yeah, so you had transferred another dental office.
Yeah, but that was it wasn't with Heartland. It was a private office. Yeah, I know. We're losing fingers here. I told you.
I'm on my third set.
I told you I've had a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I worked at that office and then met you and then we moved. And then when I got here, I've only worked
just the one. You had that working interview, but
yeah, that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I had a working interview for this one dental office here. And then I ended up working, we actually moved. Yep. We moved to Jacksonville for a while and then I was pregnant. So
yeah.
And then we moved back. I had a Alaric. I went for an interview when Alaric was 7 weeks old.
Yeah.
Because I needed to feel normal again.
No, and I think a lot of women actually like getting back out there after having a kid and getting back into a routine.
Yeah, I think that helped me a lot. I love staying home with him now.
Mm-hmm.
I do miss like going to work and stuff, but I get to go on these long walks with him. Like the day is ours,
Yeah. Yep.
Because like when I was working and I was working full time, I would get home at like 6 o'clock and he goes up for his bath at 6:30 and goes to sleep at 7. And then he would wake up in the morning. I would give him a quick bottle and then I would leave.
Yeah.
And then especially like as he got older, your mom would have to give him breakfast. So yeah, so that was that job. And then now I am in school for holistic health. I'm almost done.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't freaking wait. So then this will be my last job because I'll be a certified natural health professional.
Yep.
And then after this, I'm going to take one more course starting in January. It's kind of like a mind, body, spirit course, kind of healing past traumas with breath work and everything like that. So I'll be certified in that. And then eventually down the road, I will take the certified holistic health practitioner course, which is another 40 weeks. And then I'll just be another higher certification for myself. But the goal is to have my own practice and my own little store.
Yeah.
So we'll get there.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there. And, stay on the lookout, everybody. Sierra will probably start her own podcast in the coming future.
Yep. So podcast, Instagram, all that.
Yep.
But I think...
And you can add that to the list, too.
Yeah, but I was getting ready to say, I think the way that... Like, you and I talk about it, I don't really know how much I've talked about it on here, but just the way that I grew up and like how my mom was and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to like be my own person. So I think that had a big factor into it too. Like I was always kind of doing stuff for other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was a dental assistant and she went to dental assisting school and she worked at a dental office and she really wanted me to do that. So I did that. And then I became good at it, like good at the front desk part. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I just fall into it and I got stuck in it and I hated it. I loved the people that I worked with, but I hated the job. So, but it's like, I think I finally found my passion because I'm really good at this stuff, like the holistic stuff, and it really interests me. So I think if I would have been able to like be my own person from the get-go, I wouldn't have had all these jobs.
Yeah, so for everybody else keeping track, or not keeping track.
Yeah, they probably tuned me out.
I think I counted 22 jobs.
Yeah, and I feel like I missed a few, but...
Oh my gosh, that is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
I thought I was going to have a lot.
22 jobs, and I started, like I said, 15, and I am now 28 years old. But a couple of them were at the same time.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. But yeah.
And a couple of them were very short.
Yes, a couple were very short.
So out of those 22 different jobs, what was your most favorite? We probably, already touched on this. Probably your BDC or your Army, right? What was your least favorite? You had a lot of options.
My least favorite? Definitely, right off the top of my head, dental assisting.
Okay.
Like being the assistant.
Yeah.
It's very immediately demanding. Like you have to think on your feet, and I don't do well under pressure.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't do well under pressure like that. So that was probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
Yep.
How much did you make at your least favorite at that dental assisting? I mean, was it okay at least?
No, that was a freaking joke.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like I said, I was certified. I was I'm still a certified dental assistant, which you don't even have to be. You can just, be a dental assistant, or a registered dental assistant. Most people are registered.
Yep.
But I was certified because I took national board exams.
Yep.
I was nationally certified in radiology to take x-rays. And then I got IV sedation certified so that I could sit in on IV sedation surgeries.
Wow.
Okay. I got paid $9 an hour.
Oh, snap.
Yep. And I did my extern. So you had to do an externship, like to graduate and everything. And so the office that I externed at, and I think that was the problem. Like he was so nice and like taught me stuff. And I was like, oh, this is good. And that's the thing. If I feel comfortable with the person, like I will thrive and I'll like, it'll click and stuff. But as soon as he hired me, he like flipped the switch and he was like a jerk.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and so were the other girls. Like they were mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, he paid me $9 an hour and I was like, "Bro, I made more working at Little Caesars."
Yeah.
Like, come on. And so yeah, that gave me zero motivation to even continue to work there.
I would feel the same exact way. That's awful.
Like literally, so this is horrible. But I think I worked there for, like, actually was getting paid. I probably worked there for 8 months.
Uh-huh.
But one day at lunch, so we had our morning huddle, like, every day.
Yep.
And he was talking about buying us all scrubs. And he said, like, kind of in a joking way, like, nobody knew that I was, like, super unhappy. And he said, like, in a joking way, like, if any of you leave in the next, like, few months, like, you're gonna have to pay me back for your scrubs. And I was like, So at lunch, I left, told everyone bye. I was like, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Coming back after lunch.
Did you do one of your Irish exits?
Fuck yeah, I did. I did a total Irish exit. Left, and I never went back. Never even called. I've never done that ever. I've never done a no call, no show. Like I told everyone at this office, I'm like, if I ever no call, no show, like I'm dead. But yeah, I just straight up never went back. And I actually told my boyfriend at the time because he's like, what happened? I was like, they fired me. I couldn't. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I know, it's awful. But yeah, no, I just never went back. I deleted everybody off Facebook too. Yep.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, so, okay, I'm still in shock about how many jobs you've had. Because, again, I thought I had a lot. So, my first job was the fencing, and then I think after that, for a summer or two, I did the inflatables, like bounce houses.
Yeah.
And that one was a weird one because it's like
Did you do that with one of your friends?
Yeah, Glenn.
I thought it was Blake.
No. Did you meet Glenn?
No, I never met him.
Okay. Yeah, so I did it with him. His dad, him, they had worked with the lady for a while. So I was able to get in with them and do that. And it was a okay job. It was paid per job. It wasn't paid hourly. So, if it was a 2-hour job and, they sold the job for, $400 or $500, and it's like, well, maybe I get $60, the other guy gets $60.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's how that was.
Sucks.
Yep. When I was at school at ECU, I worked at a popcorn shop called Pirates Popcorn. And it's like, this one was like just so random because it was the people that owned this popcorn shop were actually family friends. Like, they used to live 4 or 5 houses down from us in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Wow.
And I go to ECU, and sure enough, they live there. They have this popcorn shop. So I got to reconnect with them. That was really nice. I worked there for 2 or 3 years. While I was
all season, like all through the year.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously, my off time was the summer when I was back home.
Yeah. Did you work during the summer then?
Yeah. So during the summers, I was doing the pool attendant or a lifeguard.
You're a pool guy.
Yep. I was a pool boy.
Pool boy. I knew it.
Yep. After that was such a chill job. Like, literally, I just sat in a chair, had people sign in, and I got paid to watch movies all day long. It's like I just
you didn't have to like make sure they weren't drowning?
No, I mean, yeah and no. I was not a lifeguard. I was literally
You're
pools,
just the attendant.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I check the chemicals. Just have people sign in and follow the rules.
Okay.
There's signs posted, no lifeguards on duty.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a like I said, super chill job.
How much did you make
at that one?
Yep.
Oh man, $12 or $15 an hour.
Dang.
Yeah, it was decent money. So for not doing anything, anyways, right? I even got Aaron working there.
Oh wow.
Yep, and Blake's younger brother. I got him working there.
Okay.
Yep, I got a bunch of people jobs. It's kind of neat. I feel like when you're able to help other people out.
Yeah.
Oh, one that I even forgot to write down here. Okay, so another job I had was something called valet waste. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
this was like a trash collection type thing for apartment complexes where they leave their stuff out. You go up and down, the hallways, put it in this big white, I guess just like container.
Trash eater.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like you carried this thing.
Oh.
Right. So
it wasn't on wheels?
No.
Ugh.
You're carrying it. So it was, labor intensive.
Yeah. And smelly, gosh.
Yeah. And you use your own truck. So you would carry it, throw it in the back of your truck, keep going until you filled your truck up, and then brought it to the compactor at the front of the complex, and did that until you got the entire complex. That one was another one. It wasn't an hourly job. It was paid per apartment complex. So it's like, man, what was it? It might have taken me 30 or 45 minutes to do one complex. But then there are other complexes where it was like 200 plus units. Maybe it takes me an hour and a half. But it was decent, right? I was making on average, when I'm flying through it, like $35 an hour.
Dang.
Yeah. And same thing with that. I got one of my good buddies a job with them. So that was pretty neat. After all that, I kind of got my first big boy job, you can say. I was a cable technician with Cox Communications.
You were Jon Snow.
Yeah, when one of my clients or customers, I walked into their house and she said...
One? It happened all the time.
It was Jon Snow or Jesus. So I had hair past my shoulders and a long beard at the time.
Yep.
And yeah.
And you do look like Jon Snow.
Yeah. So I was a cable technician with Cox for about 2.5 years. Again, this is another job that you're paid by the job. Wasn't paid hourly. So I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I produced, so we were paid by points. I produced a lot of points. So I made more than most people.
Yeah, you were pretty up there, right? Like you did really good. Like everyone knew that you were.
Yeah, so I'm super competitive, and I think that's something that really helps me stand out is that my competitive nature, gives me this drive to just want to be better than everybody else, especially when it's something where like everything is visible. Like
you're like that every single second of your life, babe.
Get used to it.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Like anything. Like if I tickle you, you're like, oh, I'm gonna just monster tickle you. I'm like, look, God, we did it.
So when my family still lived in Virginia, me and my brothers were going to start our own pool business.
All three of you?
Yeah, I think so. It was going to be Three Brothers Pool Company, and
adorable.
Yeah, and unfortunately, obviously, things didn't work out, and Mom and Dad and everybody, Mom, Aaron, and Ryan, all moved to Texas, and it was just me. And
I'm so glad you didn't move to Texas.
Me too.
I would have never met you.
I know, but yeah, so obviously that was short-lived. We had a couple clients, friends that were in the neighborhood, but I mean, we were making good money, so there was that, and then I finally got my career, I guess you could say, started, where I worked with L3. And I have had 4 different positions within that company. I started at the bottom as a trades helper, I think I started at like $18 an hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, they pay pretty well. It's a government contracting job, so it's like you get kind of government rates, right? So trades helper, starting at the bottom, $18 an hour. Then from there, I went up to a engineer tech 2, which paid, I think, $22 an hour. And then from there, I went to a production planner, where I was making about $30 an hour. And then a project manager, and I was making about $32 an hour.
But also, the cool thing was you got to travel.
Yeah, so as the engineer tech 2, I was really a fiber optic technician. And yeah, I got to travel to Spain 4 different times. I went to Hawaii once. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Florida a few times. Was it Mississippi?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that one was awful. Mississippi, nothing there.
But is that when you had pneumonia, or was that Florida?
That was Florida when I had pneumonia. Oh yeah, that was bad too. Yeah, so I got to travel around a lot, which was nice at the time. And then I
think now you're stuck in that.
Travel?
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, because like all these other jobs that you're like looking at and stuff, like you had that other interview, like you travel right now.
Yep.
You technically you traveled, like we were in Jacksonville with L3.
Yes.
But now you travel weekly, and then the other job that you just had an interview with, you're gonna travel again. So it's like I think you're stuck in there.
I don't know. But okay, so after L3, right, we had our son, and you're still with L3. Yeah, but so we came back to Texas, and I became an operations manager with FedEx. That was okay for everybody who's ever worked at FedEx. I mean, you get it. But
you seriously looked like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like when you worked at FedEx, you looked rough. Like, as nice as I can say this, because so when we had a lark, you still worked for L3.
Yeah.
You were back in Jacksonville. When did you came back and started
I came back
working?
September 11th, and I started working at FedEx October 10th.
Yeah. So, and then you worked at FedEx from October to February.
Yep.
And when you would come home, I mean, you sometimes had like short shifts, I feel like, but you looked like you were in your 40s. Like you looked old, babe.
Yeah, I mean,
and looking at pictures now, I'm like, holy crap, like that's when Eric worked at FedEx.
Yeah.
Because even now, like you look so much better, you look happier, and it's just crazy.
Well, yeah, so at FedEx, you were an operations manager. You're supposed to manage people to, get these packages loaded in trucks, but they cut back people. It's like, you might start
peak season too.
Yeah, you might start with, 10 or 12 people, and they're like, oh, get down to 3, get down to 4. It's like, and then now you've got to do the same work that package handler is doing, and then they just treat the package handlers awful, in my opinion, right? You sign up for these shifts, you get to work, and you get cut. Like, that's not a reliable source of income. It's not a good stability aspect for the package handlers and for FedEx to treat those employees that way. So I wanted to get out of there, pretty much as soon as I could. And that's when I got the job that I have now, which is a project consultant, where I'm, working with these kind of big manufacturing clients and redoing their maintenance, repair, operations storerooms. And with these clients, I run a team of anywhere from 4 to 10 individuals on getting all the analytics done and reorganization and turning it back over. So this job, it pays really well. I'm currently hourly, and get paid.
Perks are nice.
Yeah, get paid for all my travel over time like that.
Then you also get travel points and hotel stays.
Right, exactly. But yeah, as Sierra mentioned earlier, it's still up in the air. I had 2 interviews this past week, so.
But it's like, once we get the RV, I think it'll still be fine. I mean, yeah. I would honestly love to come. I'm jealous. Like,
I'm in Vegas
really
right now, and
yes,
it's killing Sierra.
Yeah, but not even Vegas. Like, I was jealous when you were in Fresno. Yeah. California.
Yep.
And even when you were in North Carolina, like, when you went to Franklin, Indiana, like...
You came with me.
Oh, yeah, the second time.
The first time I was only there for 1 week.
It doesn't matter. That's still where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the odds of that? Like, literally directly where I'm from. But,
it's probably good, though, because remember, that's the time that Lark got sick, so...
Yeah, that was horrible. But, yeah, I'm definitely jealous that you get to travel, so I think it'll be... Honestly, I think you should... stay traveling, and I think it'll be good for us.
Yeah, I think it will be beneficial, long term if I stay with this company and we get the RV and we are able to stay together and get to explore all these new places. I think that's a really cool opportunity.
Yep.
Out of all those jobs that I mentioned, I haven't had nearly as many as Sierra, apparently. I think I've had 14 or 15. My favorite one, man, it's so tough. So... it would probably be between, what I'm doing now, because I feel like I'm really good at managing people, and I guess the job is not so much fulfilling. Like, I'm good at it, so, that's nice. But when I worked at L3, and I was a trades helper ET2 type position, I literally worked with a whole bunch of friends from high school, and that was when it didn't feel like work.
Aww.
Because we literally just got to chill all day together. We would be competitive with each other, and it's like, hopefully I'm not going to get in trouble, but, we got our work done so quick, because we go through these SOPs, and we knock them out, and after that, it's like, if there's nothing scheduled, if there's no other maintenance operations to be done, there was nothing for us to do, right? So,
and I feel like that's how it should be. Like, if you're done with your work, there's no reason for an 8-hour workday.
Well, yeah, right, but
for every career, every job, but not necessary.
We were there all 8 hours, and one of the guys brought in their N64, so we would have
oh my gosh,
we'd have Mario Kart matches. We would play wiffle ball in the shop. It was a huge shop.
Wow. You didn't get any better at wiffle ball?
Oh, wow. And then we even had a hide and go seek match.
Stop. And, that's cute.
Yep. And so the worst one was we had a water balloon fight, and the supervisor.
Oh, no.
That's when he lost it, Andy. You remember him?
Yes.
That was the only time he's ever yelled.
Oh, my God. He's probably like, I work with children.
He loved working with us.
I know.
I think we made him feel younger.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So why'd he yell at you?
Because we were really bad.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, how you said, the whole 8-hour workday thing, right? That's something that I really like about my current job. I'm the manager. I'm the boss. I run the day. So if these people can get their work done, we're supposed to be doing 410s, but if they can get their work done, then I can send them home when I want to.
Do you think that they want to be sent home?
Of course they do.
Do they get paid for it, though?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, so,
okay. Well, then never mind.
Yeah, so, for instance, yesterday, okay, and I say yesterday, that's going to be September 22nd for this episode, but, we were trying to finish out phase 1 of my current project, and they had, 150 items are left to capture. So I said, okay, look, this is what's going on. This is the goals. If you can meet it, you guys can leave as soon as you finish this, whether it's 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or, your end time, but you're going to get paid all 10 hours.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And they worked through their lunch. They didn't get off as early as they probably would have liked to, but they got off at 3 o'clock instead of 5. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yep. So, as far as it goes with my least favorite,
FedEx.
Yeah, I think that's up there. The FedEx it wasn't a good job. Like you said, I looked rough. The management was, my direct management was okay, but their upper management making all these decisions to cut, everything like that, it it was bad.
I think you liked the people you worked with.
I did. I really liked the people I worked with. A few of them even showed up to Alaric's first birthday. That was really nice. If you guys are listening, thank you. But yeah, that was that. Obviously, when Sierra starts up her business, I would like to partake in that somehow.
You're going to be my little front desk person. You're going to be my personal assistant.
Yeah, I'll take care of all the back office stuff.
Yeah, you'll be really good with like the financing and even probably like the ordering and like the
Yeah, I mean, I literally did all that.
Yeah, so like the stocking and production.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, okay, just kind of going into this. What's your dream job? What was your dream job when you were younger? When I grow up, I want to be this.
So yeah, every time they would ask me, like as a kid, when you grow up, what do you want to be? And I always said teacher.
Really?
Yep, I always wanted to be a U.S. history teacher. But then as I got older, I looked into how much school you have to do and how much you make, and I was like, no. So the amount of school after high school was not appealing to me. And then I feel like they really don't make that much.
No.
Not for the amount of work that they do.
No, teachers should make more money.
Yes. So I was like, yeah, that's a no. But now my dream job is what I'm working towards.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was younger, it was one of two things. Either wanted to, kick in the NFL or play poker professionally.
Wow.
One of those is off the table. One of those is still on the table. So, yeah.
Maybe Alaric can kick for the NFL.
That would be awesome.
He's good.
Yeah, he's dribbling a soccer ball.
Yes.
He's dribbling a soccer ball already.
Is that like, I don't even know if that's normal because he just started, okay, this is September 23rd when we're recording this episode. He just started walking
2 weeks ago?
Yes, September 8th.
Yeah.
And he's already dribbling a soccer ball.
Yeah.
He freaking knows what he's doing. I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah, no, he's focusing on it, keeping it on his feet.
Yes.
It's really
and
cool to see.
And he uses both feet.
Yeah.
And then he'll get 2 balls in his hands and walk with them and he'll throw them.
Yep.
Well, I think he's
professional dodgeball player.
Yeah. He's going to be a little athlete, I think.
Yeah,
I know every parent says that, but
we got a prospect on our hands.
We do.
Yeah. Okay, so last thing here before we wrap it up is something else that I find pretty informative.
Well, hold on. You talked about what you wanted to do as a kid, your dream jobs, but what is your dream job now?
I said one of those is still on the table.
So that's still one of your dream jobs, is to be a professional poker player?
If I could make a living off of playing poker, oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I figured it would be like a day trade, like you said.
That's just, that's fun to do and fun to learn, and you can make a whole lot of money, but
it's also risky.
Yep.
So it's poker.
Yeah, but I got a better chance at poker. So, something else I find pretty informative, job hopping. Okay, this is something that's become really popular. If you don't know what that is, it's when you stay with a company for about 2 to 2.5 years before switching to another company.
And that's actually recommended.
Yes. I didn't realize this until pretty recently. But the reason behind this is to increase your salary, right?
Yep.
It's really odd to me that companies underpay and undervalue their employees so often. But, when you're only getting a 1 or 2% raise each year, that's rarely keeping up with inflation.
Yeah, and I think that, I know that they don't like this term, but I don't know how else to explain them, boomers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really pisses them off.
I was about to say, yes.
And they don't understand it. They think that we're lazy for doing that.
No. Oh my gosh, you were providing yourself such a better opportunity.
But that's the thing, they don't see it that way. They're like, I've worked at this job for 30 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You're showing signs that you've worked at this job for 30 years.
Right.
And you haven't had any increase. You don't have a good retirement. I'm not saying this for every single company, but if it's not giving you what you want, it's not a terrible thing to move on.
No, not at all. And, this plays into our previous episode where, that boomer who did stay with the company for 30 years and just got that minimum raise and doesn't have the greatest 401k, this is why, they're having trouble being able to afford life after retirement. But yeah, so on average, if you, hop companies every 2.5 years, you're going to increase your salary about 15% each time.
Yeah, that's honestly why I moved jobs, because I was offered more money.
Yeah.
And I would even go for more if I really liked it, it would take a little bit more money to like make me go. But even for like $2 or $3, I could be like, yeah.
Well, you got to think, I mean, when you're $2 and $3 in general, it doesn't matter, right? That's still anywhere from $4,500 to $6,500 extra a year.
Yeah.
So that's a big number. Yeah, so it's crazy to think about all the jobs that are out there, from small to big, everything in between. It's also interesting to see that me and Sierra have had so many different jobs, and we're only 30 and 28, right? So I've had about 15 or so different jobs. Sierra, a little over 20 different jobs. Okay.
That's not too bad.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
The average American usually holds 12 and a half jobs over their entire lifetime.
Stop.
Yep.
Ah.
And that's because of those boomers that stay with that company for 30 years. You know, that this number is going to increase drastically, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But there's a job out there for everyone. You know, so many different opportunities. It gives people choice to do something different or something they might like better. I've heard this before, that if you do what you love, then you never work a day in your life. I truly believe that this is real. And, you know, Sierra, you know, she's working towards this right now.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a really great opportunity for her. I haven't personally experienced it, but
that's so sad.
You know, one day when I'm playing professional poker, maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe when I'm successful and we can live off my income like solely.
Yeah.
You can focus on that and you can get good at it, and then that'll be just another source of income.
I only need one win at the WSOP. It's like $7 or $8 million bucks. So
okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed the episode this week. If you have any topic suggestions, please feel free to message us on our social media at ACS Entertainment LLC.
And I think we're going to kind of try and switch it up a little bit. So we were talking before we recorded this episode. We talk a lot about like our personal experiences and our personal thoughts. And we were thinking about kind of like not necessarily storytelling, but like covering events and discussing like, you know, past events, things that have happened. Not necessarily like a true crime podcast or, you know, anything like that, but just like past events, you know, any type of big event, any type of like big news. So let us know if you want to, if you want us to talk about that.
Yeah, let us know if that's something that you guys might think is interesting, or if we should stick to kind of what we've been doing. But yeah, be sure to click that link in our Instagram bio to find all of our episodes and get those great earthly products. Also, check out our YouTube, where we are uploading new motivational music every Monday, children's lullabies every Wednesday, and ASMR sounds every Friday. Thanks again for joining us, and make sure you tune in next week for another new episode of He Said, She Said.